Hello everyone, my name's Stonesy Boy and welcome back to Reading with Stonesy. Today we're reading pages 21 to 40. Really it should say a fourth of 20 to 40 because I didn't end on 20. Well, I ended on 20, but you know what I mean. Alright, so without further ado and no further explanation, actually that explanation will be in tomorrow's episode of the Learning Corner. Let's begin. "Where have you been?" Myron demanded when Angel got back to her family's table. The band was getting ready for a sing-along. Angel glared at him. "I had to go clean up the pizza sauce your klutzy daughter decided to smear all over me." Angel's mom leaned in. "The snarky attitude isn't necessary. Ophelia is only 5 years old, Angel." "Yeah, I know, and yet she's the head of the household. Well, how does that make any sense?" Myron shook his head. The sing-along started, and Angel noticed Dominic, who was now singing too, moving gracefully from the table to table. His voice could be heard around the din of all the kids' voices. He had a really nice voice. As he was watching him singing to the trio of rambunctious boys, Angel wondered if Dominic wanted to be a performer. That was what she was going to be. Angel was going to be an actress, singer, and dancer. She was equally talented at all three. Surely all the teachers in the drama and music department at her high school had told her she was talented enough to make it in the entertainment industry. They were the ones who encouraged her to apply for the performing arts school. She probably wouldn't have had the confidence to do it without their urging. "Audiences are just going to eat you up, Angel," her favorite drama teacher had said when she'd given Angel an application. "You're going to be special, unlike any other." And then she applied to school. Angel had no idea how she was going to pay for it because Myron said he wasn't paying for some art school you can prepare you for the real world. He was thrilled when she qualified for loans. Angel watched Dominic dance a sort of modified rumba with the few little kids. Their faces shined with joy. It was strange. Earlier today, this same scene would have had Angel rolling her eyes. But watching how good Dominic was with the kids, it made her see this place in a whole different light. Her mother poked Angel's arm. "Why aren't you singing? You love to sing." Angel shrugged, and her mom had to point. "Why not sing?" So she sang. "Not so loud," her mother said immediately. Angel stopped singing across her arms. She tried to return to Dominic watching, but the group of kids were now dancing on chairs, and they blocked her line of sight. Another eternity later, the singing stopped, and finally the announcer made a big production of bringing Ophelia up on the stage to blow out the candles of the gargantuan cake. Of course, Ophelia couldn't even manage her 5 candles. Animatronics helped her. Angel vaguely wondered how that worked. They must have little blowers in their mouths. After Ophelia received claps, whistles, and a standing ovation for blowing out 2 of her 5 candles, servers began cutting and passing out cake while the animatronic continued performing. Angel slouched in her chair, watching the animatronics dance. She wished she could re-choreograph their routine. As soon as the cake had been doled out, microphone feedback pierced through the commotion, and the announcer called out, "And now for the grand finale of today's festivities. May we have the birthday girl back on stage, please?" Ophelia grinned and ran up to the stage. Everyone cheered again. Angel looked around the room until she spotted Dominic. He was talking to his boss at the edge of the dining room, and how he saw her glancing his way. He winked at her. Angel smiled. Maybe things were looking up, as it was, after all, only a month to graduation. And then she was going to stay with a friend with another state while they attended a summer-long acting workshop. Angel got a scholarship for it, and she'd been saving up for travel and good food expenses, which was all she needed since her friend wasn't going to charge her rent. Then after that, performing arts school. Pretty soon she'd be living her own life, make her own choices, and she wouldn't have to take any more orders from Myron or play second fiddle to Ophelia. "And now for the piece of resistance," the announcer shouted. "Lower Ray!" The band had played a loud fanfare, and something started coming down from the ceiling. Angel figured they were about to see a Freddy-shaped piñata or something. Piñatas seem to be popular with kids' birthday parties these days. Only half watching the thing getting lowered down, Angel blinked and looked more carefully when she saw the object wasn't a piñata. At least it wasn't a piñata that looked like any she'd seen before. Sinking slowly down into the room, a soft-looking statue was undolting and quivering its way closer and closer to the stage. The statue was vaguely girl-shaped and wasn't made of paper mache. It seemed to be made of... Was that candy? Angel leaned forward and squinted. Yeah, it looked like gummy candy. It was a big gummy statue. Okay, that was different. Interested now, even as she equally repelled, Angel watched the gummy statue throw out its arms, kick its legs, and gyrate its body. Clearly, some form of animatronic like Freddy and his band members. The gummy statue was a constant motion. It flung itself this way and that. Weird, gross, and maybe a little cool. "Kids," the announcer called out, "for your eating enjoyment, we present you the birthday gummy!" The kids cheered. The announcer looked at Ophelia. "You, my lovely young lady, as the birthday girl, have the privilege of taking the first bite of our yummy gummy. You will start with the yummy gummy's toes. Then you will get the responsibility of having the last bite, the yummy gummy's gumdrop nose." Ophelia laughed and clapped her hands. She started toward the gummy statue. The announcer held up a hand. Before you start, dear birthday girl, let me repeat to you all. Only the birthday girl can take the gumdrop nose. That is for Ophelia and only for Ophelia. Does everyone understand? All the kids all chorus. Yes, excellent, the announcer said. And now you may begin, Ophelia, and then, kids, come on up and join her. You all need to take bites to devour this yummy gummy. Ready, set, go! Ophelia ran over to the gummy statue and bit off its big toe. Even though it made of candy, watching Ophelia eat a toe made Angel feel a little sick. She thought it was strange that the gummy statue kept moving, even when the other kids fell to the stage and began chewing their way up to the statue's legs. Angel would have thought they would have turned off the animatronics before the thing got eaten. Bored again, now that the gummy was being consumed by scrabbling children, Angel sat back and tapped her foot. For a few minutes, she watched the kids eat the candy, and then she started feeling queasy. The scene reminded her of the horrible nature shows Myron liked to watch, the ones where the lions ran down the zebra and chowed down. Angel hated those shows. It's just nature, Angel, Myron would say to her when she objected. Quit being so squeamish. Nature or not, she didn't like seeing living things eaten. She didn't even like seeing the lobsters in the tanks at the restaurants. The gummy statue was a little too lifelike to enjoy seeing it devoured by a horde of little kids' mouse. So by the time the kids were halfway up the legs, she reached into her purse and came up with a nail file. She started touching up her nails. Another several years passed, and an announcer shouted, "You're doing great, kids! Remember, the gumdrop nose is for Ophelia and only Ophelia!" Angel glanced up to see the kids were at the neck. Only the statue's head was left, and it was being lowered closer to the ground stage so the kids could reach it. Angel watched the pudgy kid tear off the head's ear with the white little teeth. Her stomach flip-flopped. She looked back down at her nails. She didn't even look up again till the announcer shouted, "Everyone stop!" The kids froze, and the head was gone. "Ophelia, our birthday girl, come get your gumdrop nose!" the announcer called. Angel looked up once more. She saw Ophelia sitting in the edge of the stage, looking as if she might be sick. The announcer, up unperturbed, danced over, pulled her to her feet, and escorted her to the remains of the gummy statue. "Take your gumdrop nose," the announcer said. Ophelia looked at the announcer, then reached out and plucked the nose from the nearly consumed head. She tugged on the announcer's leg. She bent over. She whispered something to him, and she stood. "Our birthday girl's gonna take her gumdrop nose home to save her at a later time. Let's give her a big round of applause." For what? Angel wondered. Saving a gumdrop for later? Please. Angel shook her head and waited for the century had been Ophelia's birthday to come to an end. They finally left Freddy's at around 6 p.m. Considering they had left the house before noon, Angel decided it was been one of the longest birthday parties on record. The sun was still in the sky, reminding Angel how close they were to June and graduation, their ticket to freedom. The thought helped loosen some of her taut muscles. Angel got into the back seat of Myron's top-of-the-line minivan and strapped himself while Myron helped Ophelia into her car seat. Ophelia said she was feeling bloopy because she ate too much of the gummy statue. She hadn't eaten the gumdrop nose, though, and had been wrapped carefully in plastic for her. Ophelia stank of sweat and garlic. Angel shrunk against the door and turned to look at the window. She pressed her nose against the warm glass and tried to breathe the sun's expensive rays through the glass instead of Ophelia's stench. Myron finished strapping his precious daughter and then got in the driver's seat. Angel's mom was already in the passenger seat, visor down and checking her makeup. Myron stared at the engine and then turned around to look at Ophelia. "So, you ready for your big birthday surprise, sweetie?" Angel swiveled the gawk at Myron. He had been kidding. There was more than extravagant birthday display they just endured. Ophelia, who has been about a nod off before Myron spoke, lifted her head and clapped her hands. "Birthday surprise! What is it, Daddy?" "You'll have to wait and see, my princess." Ophelia bounced in her car seat. She grinned at Angel and asked, "Do you know what my surprise is?" Angel shook her head and turned toward the window again. She did her best to zone out. The minivan began moving. She just had done a good job because the next thing she knew, Myron was shouted, "Here we are!" Ophelia let out an adult-sized snort and opened her eyes. Angel blinked and wiped her wet eyes. Then she blinked again and wiped her eyes again. "No. Really?" Myron had pulled the minivan into a graveled area in the front of a huge barn, next to the grassy paddock in which 3 lovely chestnut horses grazed. The evening sun caressed their backs, turning them golden. "Horsies!" Ophelia screamed. "Oh, Daddy, are there ponies? I want a pony!" "I know, sweetie," Myron laughed. He got out of the minivan and opened the back door to unstrap his daughter. Come on, Angel," her mother said. Angel forced herself to open the minivan door. She had to command her feet to move. She did not want to see what was about to happen. She got out of the car and looked around. Myron, Ophelia, and Angel's mom were heading toward the barn, and they didn't seem to care if she wasn't with them. So Angel turned in the opposite direction. She picked her way across the gravel, listening to their footsteps crunch. She approached the wood fence around the paddock. One of the horses, a mare, trotted over to see her, dropping her huge head over the top of the fence to nuzzle Angel's shoulder. The mare smelled like fresh hay and moist earth. She also smelled a little like manure. Or maybe it wasn't the horse. The paddock needed cleaning up. Angel laughed, and when the mare gave Angel an assistant shove with her nose. I don't have anything for you, she said. You want to give her an apple? Angel turned to see a red-headed girl coming her way. The girl's long hair was plaited into the braid, and she was smiling. She wore denim overalls, and she looked open and friendly. Hi, said Angel. Hi, the girl said, held out an apple slice. Angel took it. Put it in the palm and hold out your palm flat and steady, the girl said. Angel did as she instructed. The horse took the apple slice. Her lips felt warm and soft against Angel's palm. The puff of her breath tickled. Angel smiled. You're awesome. You're awesome, she told the horse. Thanks, the red-headed girl said. Angel looked at her. Oh, you weren't talking to me? The girl laughed. I get that all the time. Next to the horses, I tend to disappear. Sorry, Angel said. My name's Angel. Tammy. You work here? Angel asked. Tammy nodded. This is my dad's place. That's my mom and stepdad over there, Angel said. Ophelia's getting a pony. Ophelia? Angel pointed. My stepsister. Oh, yeah, sweet little girl. She's been out here a couple times to ride the ponies, but hey, she's hitting the jackpot. Angel endured the sweet little girl comment. What do you mean by the jackpot? Oh, I mean, Ophelia isn't just getting a pony. She's getting a pony and a horse. Her dad wants her to have a pony while she's still small, and he's bought a yearling or two, her too. He wants her to grow up with her horse, and she's going to get private lessons all year long, too. How much does that cost? Angel blurted. Sorry, that was rude. You probably can't tell me. No, I get it. I don't think there's any confidentiality in our business. At least, there's not on this part of it. Now, we're talking race horses. That'd be another coral of Phyllis. Angel smiled. The pony's $2,000, Tammy said. The yearling is $3,000, but that's just the beginning. We charge a couple thousand a year to keep and take care of the pony or a horse. So your stepdaughter will be spending about $4,000 a year on fees, and then lessons would be $50 a day. So let's say she comes in an average 3 times a week even, or 50 weeks. That's what? Tammy looked upward, doing math in her head. That's $7,500 a year, Angel said. Yeah, Tammy said. So what did you get for your birthday this year? Angel laughed. Dinner at a burger place, because that's where Ophelia wanted to go. I'm a vegetarian. Oh, that's rude. I know, right? I also got a small cake and a new set of suitcases. You know, when I leave home. Tammy barked out a laugh. Oh, sorry. That's so sad. It's funny. Tammy covered her mouth. I'm so sorry. Angel laughed too. It's all right. They say comedy is a tragedy plus time. Tammy shook her head. I was feeling sorry for myself before I came over here to talk to you. I want to go to culinary school. My dad won't let me go until the fall because his foreman got injured and I need to stay and help. I mean, once Ed, the foreman, is back, Dad'll pay for my school and he's even getting me a car. Angel sighed. I'm not bragging, Angel said. I'm only telling you so I can hear how good I actually have it. I really am sorry you're stuck with a jackass of a stepdad. Really sorry. Angel shrugged. Well, I'm glad I can hang here and make you happy. It was well after 8:30 p.m. when they finally got home. Ophelia was asleep again when Myron pulled the minivan into the garage. Angel was numb. She was only breathing, she thought, because it was habit. She was in shock, so angry that she had no clue how to process it. She couldn't believe all had just happened. No, that wasn't true. She did believe it, and that's what made her so angry. So, did you love your party and your supplies, my princess? Myron asked Ophelia as they came through the mud room and laundry room of the 4-car garage. Angel ignored Myron and his daughter as she cut through the kitchen and headed up the stairs to her bedroom. Her mom, then Myron, and Ophelia followed her. She listened to an echo of their footfalls as they trapseed over the expensive hardwood floors that Myra was inordinately proud of. The house sounded so cavernous, so cold and uninviting. It was big, but who cared? Myron and Angel's mother had the biggest bedroom in the house. Naturally, it was a huge master suite with a sitting area. Ophelia's room, though, wasn't much smaller. Her domain was also a suite and a sleeping area, a reading nook, and a play area. She also had her own huge closet and a bathroom. Angel got a normal-sized room at the end of the hall, and she didn't get her own bathroom. She had to walk to the other end of the hall to use the bathroom. Whatever, she'd gone soon enough. Angel went into the plain peach and white room. Myron had it decorated. Without Angel's input, she hated the colors. She hated the sheer curtains, and she hated the twin-size bed. She almost an adult. She deserved at least a full-size bed. The only thing Angel liked about her room was the view. Her window looked over the backyard, which was huge and filled with trees. Flopping down in her tiny bed, Angel clenched her teeth and thought about the unfairness of it all. What was she, trash? Something to be ignored and discarded? Angel took it and started pacing back and forth. One day, very soon, Myron, her mother, and Ophelia, too, would realize how wrong they were to dismiss her. Angel was not going to be ignored. She was going to be successful, hugely successful. And when she wasn't going to share a dime with her horrible mother, stepdad, and stepsister. She was going to make it. She was going to be a center of attention. Angel dropped on her bed again. She thought about just going to sleep.
The day had totally drained her, but her stomach wouldn't stop growling, so she left her room and headed for the kitchen. As she went back down the hall, Angel glanced more from the habit of interest to Ophelia's room. Ophelia was nowhere in sight. She was probably in the master with her daddy. Angel saw the plastic-wrapped gumdrop nose sitting on Ophelia's white-painted nightstand. She noticed Ophelia had placed her nose in her treasures dish, a little crystal, yes, real crystal, shallow bowl that held everything from rocks and seashells to coins and gold jewelry. Angel shook her head and continued on. Back downstairs, Angel went into the kitchen and flipped on the light switch. Warm, yellow, glowing circles shined down from the amber glass pendants above the tanker-sized island illuminated black granite countertops. Recessed lights lit up custom cherry cabinets and stainless steel appliances. The kitchen was a gourmet cook's dream. Too bad a gourmet cook didn't live here. Angel cooked a little, but not a ton. She had to learn what little she knew how to cook on her own. Come to think of it, she had to learn everything she knew how to do on her own. She went to the fridge, scrounged around, and found a bean salad she made for herself a couple of days before. She was about to take a first bite, and then the phone rang. Thinking of Dominic, she snatched up the receiver. Hello? I hear the voice of an angel, Dominic said. Very funny, Angel said when she sounded casual and relaxed, but her pulse had at least doubled its pace the second Dominic spoke. I am very funny, aren't I? Aren't you lucky to have met me? Angel laughed. I'm beside myself. There are two of you? Lucky me. Angel groaned but giggled. Do you think you're funny, don't you? Hilarious. Angel shook her head. And also very modest. Very. Not to mention succulent. Angel said, smiling. Dominic smiled. Brevity is the soul of wit. Good one, Angel said. Proud of yourself? Inordinately. Angel laughed. She had to admit she was impressed that he'd thrown out another Hamlet quote, and she wasn't thinking to tell him that. You're too much. The lady doth protest too much, methinks, Dominic said. Angel groaned. A click came over the line, and Myron's heavy breathing battered Angel's ear. I'm on the phone, Myron, she said. It's late. Who are you talking to? Late? It's not even 9 p.m. Angel was going to lie and say it was one of her friends, but Dominic, clueless about the extent of Myron's unreasonableness, spoke up. My name is Dominic, sir. I'm calling to ask out your stepdaughter. Who the hell are you? Myron asked. I've never heard her talk about a Dominic. Angel was about to insert. We just met today, sir, Dominic said innocently. Angel groaned. Where? Are you lying? She was with us. Where do you get off lying to me, young man? Dominic spoke. After a slight hesitation, he seemed to be getting out that Myron wasn't playing with a full deck. I know she was with you today, sir, Dominic said in the slow, soothing tone that one used to pacify a distressed toddler. She was at Freddy's with your family. I work part-time there. I'm one of the assistant manager. I didn't see you, Myron snapped. Another little silence proceeded Dominic's patient response. With all due respect, sir, you wouldn't know if you did see me. We haven't met yet. That's exactly my point. You're not talking Angel out. You're not taking Angel out. We don't know you. I'm happy to come over, and Dominic began. You're not coming into this house. We don't know you, Myron repeated. I'm sorry, but how will you get to know me if you don't meet me? Get the hell off my phone, smart Alec, Myron said. He slammed down the receiver and bellowed down the stairs. You better be off in 10 seconds, Angel. I'm coming down there. Angel cringed. I have to go, she said to Dominic. Call me when you can, Dominic said. Angel hung up the phone just as Myron stomped into the kitchen. Where do you get off handing out my phone number to a total stranger, he demanded. It's my phone number too, Angel pointed out. That's just by happenstance, Myron said. What's that supposed to mean? I mean, it means I married your mother and you came along for the ride. I came along for the ride? Angel threw back, incredulous, and she widened her eyes and stared at Myron. Her mom came into the room. She held up a small stack of envelopes. I got mail, Angel. You got a letter. Angel looked at the letter her mother held out, and she glanced at the return address. It had been a student loan office. Maybe they were going to give her more money. She ripped the envelope open and looked at the letter. She read a couple sentences. What? She blurted. What is it? Her mother said. Angel looked up at her mother. They're rescinding my student loan offer because they updated their records and discovered you're now married to Myron. And Myron makes too much money for me to qualify for a loan. Well, he does make a lot of money, her mother said. But how does that help me? Angel shouted. She whirled to face Myron. Aren't you going to pay for me to go to school? Not that stupid art school. But that's the school I want to go. It's a good school. A naturally ranked school. I don't care. It's not a normal college. I'm not paying for something that isn't a normal college. Shouldn't have to pay for anything at all, come to that. But as a gift to my beloved Bianca, I'd pay for you to go to a state college. That's the deal. Take it or leave it. But you can afford it, Angel argued. You wouldn't even notice the money's missing. The amount of money I need to go to school is nothing to you. You have a lot to learn about money, young lady, Myron said. Angel couldn't keep it inside anymore. She hadn't said a word of the horse farm. She didn't make a peep in the car, but it came out now. You brought your daughter 2 horses, Angel screamed. She's 5. You're going to spend more on those horses and the horseback riding lessons in the next few years than you could on all my education plus a car. How is horseback riding better than performing arts school? At least I'm going to school to learn a skill I can use to make a living. What good will riding horses do for Ophelia? She's going to be way too big to be a jockey. Don't insult your sister, Myron shouted. She's not my sister, Angel yelled for the second time today. She's your daughter, and she's a thief. What the hell does that mean? Myron demanded. She stole what she should have been mine. She stole my mother. She's stealing my future. It isn't fair. Life isn't fair, Myron said, smirking. You're ruining my life, Angel yelled. She turned to her mother. If you hadn't married this ass, we'd be poor, yeah, but at least we'd both be happy. At least I'd be able to get a student loan. I'm very happy, her mother said woodenly. Yeah, and I'm a piñata, Angel said. She picked up an open plastic container with bean salad. She threw it in the sink. The container bounced up on impact and beans flew everywhere. Angel ran out of the kitchen. You get back here and clean that up, Myron yelled. Clean it up yourself, Angel yelled back. It's your freaking house. Angel took the stairs 2 at a time. She reached the hall and stomped down on it, intending to go into her bedroom, throw herself into bed, and cry her eyes out. But as she passed Ophelia's room, her peripheral gaze landed on a plastic wrapper and a gumdrop nose. Angel stopped. She looked at the nose, and she saw Ophelia, wearing her new pair of horse motif pajamas, sitting in her play area happily, taking to her baby dolls, which were riding on plush horses. Angel couldn't help herself. She wasn't going to have her treasure taken from her, the treasure of going after her dream and being able to live her life the way she wanted to live it. Ophelia had to lose her treasure too. Fair was fair. Angel was charged into Ophelia's room. Want to play horsies? Ophelia asked. Angel ignored her. She strode to Ophelia's nightstand and snatched up the wrapped gumdrop nose. Hey, Ophelia said, that's mine. Ophelia started to scramble to her feet, but she tripped over big horse plush head slippers. She landed on her hands and knees and started crying. Yeah? Well, it's mine now. Angel unwrapped the nose and popped it in her mouth. No! Ophelia screamed. She thrashed on her slippers, stood, and ran toward Angel. Stop! She yelled. It was too late. Good, Angel said, chewing dramatically. Oh, actually, it wasn't good at all. It tasted horrible, like sugar, and she didn't know why. It wasn't a sugary yuck. She chewed and swallowed it anyway. Ophelia squawked like a bird and began howling like a deranged wolf. Angel could hear her mother and Myron thundering up the stairs. She shot an imaginary gun at Ophelia and said, Catch you later, kid. She darted in her room just as Myron got to the top of the stairs. Ophelia continued to howl, and Angel didn't care at all. She darted in her room just as Myron got to the top of the stairs. Ophelia continued to howl, and Angel didn't care at all. She went into her room and shut and locked the door, for good measure, because she could hear Myron's raised voice and heavy steps in the hall. She put her desk chair under the knob. She worked her tongue around the inside of her mouth, trying to get rid of the disgusting taste of the gumdrop nose. But even as she did, she felt a nauseating sense of self-satisfaction. It felt distressingly good to make Ophelia feel bad. For once, Angel was able to take something from Ophelia instead of the other way around. It made her feel small and ashamed that she was so triumphant. See? There. Ophelia had just stolen something else. Angel's self-respect. Myron pounded on the door and shouted something unintelligible. She tensed. Myron had never hit her or anything. She only used his words to berate her. She didn't know that Myron would do to her for eating Ophelia's precious nose. She giggled. That sounded funny. The roaring outside her door wasn't funny, though. She stopped giggling, and she backed up and sat on her bed. Not for the first time. She wished they had a phone in her room. She wanted to call Dominic, or her friends, or the police. Someone to get her on her side. Get out here, young lady, Myron yelled outside the door. You've gone too far this time. She didn't respond to him. Just sat on her bed, hugged her knees at her chest, and rocked herself. When Myron kept shouting and pounding on the door, she turned off her lights, and then put on her headphones. She closed her eyes and began swinging along to her favorite song. Singing would make her feel better.
Seems like a terrible life. But yeah, today we read pages 24 to 40. Not too bad, not too bad. Next time will be a little more difficult, with it being pages 41 to 63. I don't know. So it's weird. So I have this time now at the end of the episode, and I can't say it's time for anymore without because I don't have the learning corner. And actually, I think that's something I could talk about now. Well, first let me talk about the book. This book so far, I don't remember reading it, but so far it's going pretty good. Angel is a fine character. I like Adria's Wagner's work, but I really like her work more in the Pizzaplex books, because I guess they really let her shine there. But they're more childish. These books are more childish. So I mean, they always has more childish approaches. I'm very surprised they actually got away with the few curse words that have been in the story so far. Next episode we'll be reading on the last page of the Gumdrop Angel and for some reason that why didn't that what? Okay, cool. Next time we'll be reading more on the Gumdrop Angel, so that'll be fun. Yeah, I mean so far pretty good. Feels like I'm watching a sitcom. But yeah, I hope you guys return to me tomorrow for the reading corner. Hope you guys are learning corner. Super fantastic, wonderful day, y'all, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.